operating at the highest levels, they take the most simple combination, and what they'll do is make it the reason why you shouldn't have shown up at that arena that night. That's the fight game broken down by yours truly, aka the real fight doctor. And I want to make sure that all of you are in the building for this breakdown. I didn't do a pre-fight because I kind of already knew what the deal was. Amir Khan was a celebrated amateur in the amateur ranks. And so, what we're going to get into right now, after you guys check in and let me know where you're watching from, what we're going to do is make sure you understand what happens over the course of a round when the guy is on the way to the ring. And then, what we're going to make sure you all are very clear about is what your role is as a trainer, a person of support, whether you're the wife of the fighter, whether you're the friend of the fighter, whether you are the fighter's cornerman, what your role should be when you are connected and you know people that are operating and fighting at the highest level of boxing. It's going to be a really, really action packed 1 hour. But before I get started, I like to check my people in and see what's popping with you. What's up, fam? Detroit's in the house. Let me know where you checking in from. Detroit, home of Tommy the Hitman Hearns, nonetheless. But the 6 foot sniper. What's going on, my man Harvey? It's good to see you, man. Welcome to the page. We trying to make sure everybody who joined in tonight will understand one thing. You're going to leave with 10 points on your IQ, knowing a little bit more about boxing on the most elitist of levels when it comes down to fan viewership and when it comes down to people who are experts in the sports, their viewership, their ability when you watching the matchups of guys like Amir Khan and you're watching matchups with guys like, let me get one more in before we get it popping. What's up, Reggie Harris? Amir Khan, his fan into watching him and then almost always let you down. I get it. Yeah, I know. Biggest thing is this. You're welcome, brother. The thing about it is this: when it comes down to Amir Khan, before he got into this fight, the game was already really over for him. And so this is the reason why he decided to take the fight. And I'm not going to get into his head. Special shouts out to you, Freeman Watkins. Mississippi's in the house. We keeping it swinging, champ. Well, that's a special plug for your spot, man. I'm going to give it to you real live. Swinging Boxing and Fitness, Inc., Mississippi. Check them out. I'm telling you, if they're on this page, I got nothing but high regards for them. That's your plug, champ. So the reality is this. Mir Khan, there's always a ghost in the room in your life, somebody that you kind of fear to face, no matter what it's in. It don't have to be in a fight. It could be just somebody. It could be a sibling. It could be a person that's at your job. It could be someone that's in your school, that person rivals you. Amir Khan already knew a long time ago that Kell Brook rivaled him, but had a little bit more. His IQ in the ring is a little bit higher, and this isn't to disregard Amir Khan, because let me explain something about Amir Khan. In 2004, when my mentor was coaching in the Olympics over in Athens, all of these athletes were all coming from all around the world in teams and teams and teams. It's tens and tens and tens of people coming from every country in a multitude of different sports. Amir Khan walked across that stage in the Olympics in 2004 and was alone for Great Britain in boxing. He was the only person representing them and made it to the gold medal round, only losing to Kendallon, a dude who had been in 4 Olympics and had medaled in all of them, including the one that he fought Amir Khan in. And Amir Khan was a storied and celebrated athlete. And rightfully so, because he was a 16, 17-year-old kid snotty nose kid was bringing the smoke. So before I dive into Amir Khan and things that may not, you know, be double thumbs up, the reality is this: most of you, and I'm talking about you right here who are watching, are afraid to face that ghost in the room that you're dealing with. But guess what? Amir Khan loses and you jump all over him. He lost to Canelo, you jumped all over him. He lost to Anthony Peterson. Lamont Peterson. People jumped all over him. He lost to Danny Garcia. People jumped all over him. They not looking at what he's accomplishing while he might have been losing fights. He was accomplishing status, greatness, legendary royal status in a country that he was the only one talented enough and brave enough to walk that walk alone. That's who we're talking about. So before people get it twisted and make it appear like I'm just coming at a mirror, don't get it twisted. I know what that dude is inside. One of my fighters was his training partner for maybe 14, 16 months. And he doesn't fight that often. So that was maybe one, maybe two training camps. And this is when he was in the heat of things training with Pacquiao. Okay. So the reality is this kid has heart of a lion, but he liked the positioning of being the king over in the UK, right? Rightfully so. Let me break it down to you like this, and you'll find this very interesting. So you can take this down and put it right here. The biggest thing that you find when you run into a guy like Amir Khan is the fact that he will fight anybody. He fought Canelo. He tried to fight Pacquiao. This guy brings the smoke. He just lacks a couple of things that certain fighters have in the ring, which is that instinct inside of the ring. He's an aggressive rock wilder. He does not think twice before he makes his attacks. The thing that is negative about that is because you get countered. And the only way he loses fights is getting countered. Except when Canelo threw the throwaway, high here, come up, pop over the top, throw it, feint it over here, boom, wipe your nose, overhand right. You got to be careful. Thing about it, if you're coaching and you one of these guys who are out here and you're trying to lead top level guys, like Amir Khan was in camp with Bud Crawford, getting ready for this fight. But the thing about that is, doesn't matter who you in the camp with, because when I saw this fight finally being made, I said Amir Khan's run out of options. And so what do you have to do then? You have to fight the ghost in the room. Now you have to face your ghost. Is he scared of? Nobody understood that Kell Brook is an elite level fighter. He's a big welterweight, and you got to bring a lunch. Now, what do you have left in the trough is the question. It was obvious that Amir Khan's legs were gone, not from the punches, but from the punches prior. It was obvious that his ability to not engage like an elite amateur, because one of the things that's a knock on him is once he sees an opening or gets hit, he just has to attack, but he never does it defensively responsible. He holds his hands up after he gets rocked, goes into the earmuffs. That's the signature of Amir Khan. But he's not going in there like I'm teaching these guys how to turn your peekaboo and your Philly shell into the cage. And so this is an elite level status. That means you're throwing an elite level offense while being defensively responsible, only throwing where you cannot get hit. And that is a course, and that's a time period that it's so hold on one second. Let me see my man. Paul, good day, coach. Opens today. If you're over in Aussie, I want you to know right now, I want you to message this guy right here, one of our trainers. Paul Haraba, which is 6 months ago. This wasn't even a part of the plan. He's on the feed, connects us, one of the best fighters, the world champion right now. Not only that, then comes into the school of boxing, starts focusing on training his son, and then opens a gym. The top trainer you program is doing that to people, giving that chance. So, Paul, everybody, if you're out in Australia, you look this man up. And if you want to get some solid boxing training, he's doing it from the Encyclopedia of Boxing. Over 100 years of knowledge, close to 130 years of knowledge inside of that thing. That's where he's going to be teaching you from. That's what is so unique about our fellas in the school of boxing. They're teaching you from a curriculum that has expelled the greatest technicians in the history of boxing. Let me explain to those people who don't understand what that means in layman's terms. We are responsible for more gold medals in world championships in this lineage, 3 generations, he's generation 4, than any knowledge going out there. There's nobody out there putting out knowledge that has the amount of credibility that these programs do. Now, do you understand where this lineage came from? It started over 70 years ago. And now these guys today are reaping the benefits of Top Trainer U, which is morphed into that. And so if you are looking to get boxing training, so that you'll understand the sport the way you need to, if you're going to take and put your toes into this sport, you go and get it where the guys can actually do it, period, point blank. And these young men are doing it so that you will know it. I'm going to explain something else to you about the School of Boxing, the Top Trainer U program. When you are learning this way, this is what attracts the guys that have that world championship pedigree like Amir Khan. He he was going to be a champion. If you're a gold medalist Olympian or a silver medal Olympian, 90% chance you're going to be world champion because that's the grooming process. You learn a lot of different things, a lot of different wrinkles, and a lot of different paths that you do not know when you are not involved in the sport of boxing. The Olympic path gives you those real in depth scenarios where you're being catered to and pampered and flown around the world, and people just kind of anxiously laying by your feet. And competition is super stiff. This is what happens when you start to bring that laws of attraction. You start to get world class guys in your gym because they start to see your work. And that's how you draw these guys. You can't or become one. You go where there's a lineage. Right now, even without all the decades of experience, his lineage, he's vested. He invested in his knowledge, and his knowledge where he invested is going to be the place that in the thing that is the draw of attraction. Like right now his commercials are real. Take this and use this for your page, Paul. We'll chop it up for you. That's what we'll do for you because you're all the way in 1000%. And that's kind of what it is. And we appreciate you too, brother. My man. What do you think about the fight? Who did you have? And that's the thing that people had. Okay, Jake Paul's going to have a big generation of guys, and people dog Jake Paul. Once again, like I was saying about people who dog Amir Khan. Amir Khan's facing his ghost. Jake Paul has chased and accomplished and defeated his ghost. People chase winners. Don't chase people who always make excuses. You're chasing winners. Jake Paul's a winner. You know what I'm saying? Amir Khan's a winner. When you go to his crib, he got medals, belts, all of that stuff on his walls, murals. He's celebrated. Like you can't talk junk about a person that's reached higher levels than you because they can tell you something. It's very little you can enlighten them on. So you got to be careful. But the thing about this fight, as I get into this fight, and I'm going to really make it so special shouts out to you, Paul, and at the same time, for those of you who are learning in the right way, like Paul is, we're doing a special scholarship for all of the people. We got 10 scholarships that we're opening people up for the scholarship opportunity. Now, the thing about it is you can't just be some guy. You got to have credentials as far as you're on the right path. You've already done it. We're not trying to start somebody on the right path who's already going the opposite direction. So there's a qualification application. Go into this comments right here where the comments are. And then what you can do is you'll see what's actually going down. Fill it out. It'll be assessed. You'll either get the thumbs up or you won't. Just keep trying and get your stuff together. And that's kind of what we are, what we're doing, and making sure that the people who deserve an opportunity get an opportunity, because that's what happens when you can get to this level. You can really offer it up, and what you're giving back to the sport is immense. And that's what we're able to do. You know, we've reached a level we can give back to the sport, and that's what we're doing. We chose Coach Haraba, and it was because of the characteristics that he brought. He wasn't hoping and wishing and dreaming. He didn't want everything for free. Like his mindset, he understood the value in this. And we are 100%, 1000% behind you, brother. And believe me, you have not even seen the iceberg at all, let alone the tip of it. Because when you get these four wheels on it that say master boxing, boy, it's going down. But back to the topic at hand. So if you feel like you're qualifying to be in the Top Trainer U program, you can fill this out, the comments down there below, and we're going to talk right about the fight. But we want to make sure that people understand that if you're a coach and you're really running a program that you know needs more attention, and then it's not you, you just don't understand how to market yourself. You're at that point, or you're running a gym, and you need that right push and guidance, because with this sport, you can't make it without guidance. I don't care how hot you think you are, because I know I got a quarter of a million people right here on this page. And I know how much work it takes. And I know how special I thought I was when it came down to my ability, my study habits, and what I dedicated. And it takes more than that. So that's what we provide our coaches, our trainers, the gym owners. We provide them with that knowledge. So back to the fight now. So thanks for tuning in and staying locked in with us. But the biggest thing that I noticed as soon as going in is Amir Khan. I noticed his legs was gone in the first round. And the first right hand that Kell Brook landed, it was just too much. I just knew it. Kell Brook has a very high ring IQ. The only three people he's lost to is one guy was better than everybody else. He knocked out a guy that is unknockoutable in Sean Porter. That's Crawford. Then the only other person he lost to was Spence, and he's undefeated. And those two guys are soon to be on a collision course. And then Triple G. Those are the only three people that Kell Brook has lost to. He went up 2 weight classes to lose to Triple G. So with that being said, his ring IQ is just only a hair below the other two guys that he lost to. I don't count Triple G. That was a money grabber. He was not getting fights at that point. He kind of just took that. I never saw Amir Khan beating him at no point in his career. His ring IQ is just higher. He understands defense. He understands counterpunching. He can fight off his back foot. He can fight going forward. He can fight in the clinch. He knows how to tie things up. He knows how to not fight with ego. He just checked too many boxes. Amir Khan is a superior athlete, supreme athlete, not superior. And he lacked a lot of things that you need in the ring, which is EQ. His EQ is low in the ring, meaning he's emotionally tied in the ring, and he's always had to be coached down. So, fortunately, hopefully, he won't fight again. At least no one at that elite level, because his chin can't take any more of those punches. It was obvious that he was hurting after the first round. So, what do you guys think? What do you think about the fight? Drop it down in the comment box. I think it was a rude awakening, that it's time to shut the doors and look back at an illustrious career and be proud. But this is what it is. You can't go get a trainer like they went and got Bo Mack, who's Bud Crawford's trainer, and eliminate all of those other 18 years of damage since the Olympics. You can't just act like they don't. It didn't happen. He's not as durable as when what's his name that fought Shakur Stevens, the Army kid. I'm having a brain blast right now, but you know who I'm talking about. He isn't as resilient. He's not young and fresh anymore like that. And he's punchy. He's taking those punches. I could see it in his face. He was super nervous before he even got inside the ring. When he got in the ring, he still was very, very obvious on his face that he was just not comfortable. And that's what I mean. Those things matter. So, with that being said, make sure you realize that not any trainer could, not in one training camp, come to the rescue of that situation. Jamal Herring, that's who I was thinking about. And when Jamal Herring fought Shakur Stevenson, what you saw is Herring took a lot of punishment, the kind of punishment you don't want your fighter to take, because Stevenson was putting them hands on him. See, Bud Crawford and them helped in that camp. Now, he helped them look better, but it's just certain hills that you can't climb. That was Mount Everest. But when you look at Amir Khan and what he actually had left in the tank, he's not able to fight A-level fighters, B-level fighters anymore. Can he still pack an arena? Absolutely, he can, because he got a great fan base and he has the ability to entertain. But now it's time to really consider looking at the bigger picture now, and not force that beating on yourself, so you can enjoy the rest of your life and the fruits of your labor. And that's my advice to all of you coaches who are out there. Amir Khan was a problem when he was out there doing it, but the reality is you gotta pull back and make sure when you're out here trying to teach that you are working in a place that you can really learn all of the stuff, because you got to learn how to do contracts with fighters. You got to learn how to what actually happens that week of the fight. What should you be putting into his body? What should he look like before and after the weigh-in? Who and how do you build up sponsorships? How do you negotiate his money? Like, all of these things you don't know. Most people don't have an idea how those conversations even began. And fortunately, that's one of the perks of being in the Top Trainer U program. So, unfortunately, a lot of people are trying to figure it out on the job, and it's obvious who those people are when you go to fights and you see fights, and you can just tell, because they come unravel. And we don't want that for the sport. Our sacrifice was to make sure that that's not a part of the sport anymore. I've had my times where I didn't know what to expect, but I was so inquisitive that I got all the information I did when I had all of those giants with me, period. And while stuff was going on, I was documenting, I was making sure I got it, and I had it. And so now it's all in a big collaboration of books and books and books and knowledge and videos. And so if it's you that is ready to get signed up and register for our guys in top training you, be a part of the fraternity, make sure you just go down to the comment box, register. You can try the scholarship or just jump right in. We got you covered, man. But special shouts out to Amir Khan. And I'm gonna close it with this. If you're about that in the fight game, it's a lot more to it than meets the eye. And if you do not take it seriously, you're going to be in a position where you end up and you will get hurt and stuff. So if you're ready to get serious, you jump right into that Top Trainer U program. And that's all I got for right now. What did you see when you saw the fight? If you saw the fight, leave it in the comment box and let's chop it up on the next show. I'll see you guys next week when we get it popping. We're going to go over what does it take to be a top elite level trainer. It's a series where I'm going to make sure I give you every single nugget to lead you to the right path. So if you're interested in finding out what those things are that make that elite level trainer, make sure you tune in next week to our live streams here at Master Boxing across the board. I'll see you soon. Best of luck. Congratulations to Kel Special K Brook and the team Kahn for coming together to put that fight on so people could actually see those two matched up before they retired. That's all I got. Till next time. See you soon in the winner's circle. Peace.